In this episode, you'll learn about the top 10 facts you probably didn't know about why Catholics wear the scapular so that you can obtain all its benefits and privileges. Be sure not to miss out any part of this episode so that you can use the scapular correctly, because a single mistake in simple instructions would mean that you won't enjoy its effects. So be sure to stay till the end. Fact number 1. What the brown scapular is. A scapular is a garment consisting of 2 strips of cloth joined across the shoulders. The brown scapular is a miniature habit of the Order of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. It has the same privileges Mary gave the order. It is a sacrament of a deeper reality of Mary clothing and protecting us with her own mantle. Most importantly, it's a sign of consecration to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. For this reason, Mary reassured the salvation of those devoted to her. 2. The mysterious reason why Mary gave us a scapular in the 13th century. Our Lady of Mount Carmel appeared to St. Simon Stock, the prior general of the Carmelites, in the year 1251 in England. She handed him a brown woolen scapular and said, "This shall be a privilege for you and all Carmelites, that anyone dying in this habit shall not suffer eternal fire." Such privilege has been extended to the whole Church, that many saints and popes wore and promoted the scapular. The Holy Rosary was given to St. Dominic prior to the scapular. It's no coincidence that our Blessed Mother gave us the Rosary and the scapular in the same 13th century. 3. Our Lady of Mount Carmel appeared a second time. Most of us haven't heard about the apparition of Our Lady of Mount Carmel in more recent times. This is what happened. Our Lady of Mount Carmel appeared to 3 seers during the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima in 1917 in Portugal. Here's what the servant of God, Sister Lucia, said about the interpretation of Our Lady coming as Our Lady of Mount Carmel. She answered that the scapular devotion was pleasing to Our Lady, and that she desired it to be propagated. Father Donald O'Callaghan asked if she thought the scapular was a part of the Fatima message. She answered, "Most definitely. The scapular and the rosary are inseparable. The scapular is a sign of consecration to Our Lady." Carmelite Father Howard Hafferty noted that books so far did not list the scapular as a necessary part of the Fatima message. Lucia said immediately, "Oh, they're wrong. Our Lady wants all to wear the scapular." The priest asked if Mary wanted the scapular as part of the message. Lucia answered, "Yes." And she added, "Now the Holy Father has already told this to the whole world, saying that the scapular is a sign of consecration to the Immaculate Heart. Nobody can disagree now." Our Blessed Mother has now showed us clearly in her apparitions that the scapular and the rosary are deeply connected. Through the scapular, our being is always in Mary. Through the rosary, our actions are always for Mary. 4. The promise of salvation. Our Lady promised her devotees that whoever dies invested with the scapular shall be preserved from eternal flames. It is a sign of salvation, a sure safeguard in danger, a pledge of peace, and of my special protection until the end of the ages. 5. The scapular must be invested on the person by a priest, with a formula approved by the Church. Before everything else, take note that the scapular must be invested on your neck, with a formula approved by the Church. It can be done only by a priest. If not, the promises will not take effect from the very start. This is what we call enrollment in the brown scapular confraternity. The members of the confraternity have the added benefit of sharing in all the spiritual benefits of the Carmelite order. 6. What you should do if you need a new scapular. If you damaged, destroyed, or lost your scapular, there's no need for a second imposition by a priest. The blessing and investiture is still valid for the new scapular, but of course you must have the new scapular blessed by the priest. 7. There's a substitute for the scapular in some cases. The scapular medal is a blessed medal worn or carried on a person, instead of one or more of the small scapulars made of cloth. It bears on one side a representation of the Sacred Heart, and on the other an image of the Blessed Virgin. It was authorized as a substitute by St. Pius X in 1910. It replaces any or all of the small scapulars in which a person has been invested. Investing in each case must be done with the scapular and not the medal. The medal is to be blessed by a priest who has faculties for each scapular investiture. Take note, St. Pius X and subsequent popes have declared that it may only be used in necessary cases, such as in foreign or tropical climate missions, or for very serious reasons, such as an allergy to wool. But if the scapular medal is worn for insufficient reason, such as vanity or convenience, the wearer runs the risk of not receiving the benefit of the scapular promise. Even though we can use the scapular medal in these exceptions, Pope Pius X and Pope Benedict XV have also claimed the Church's strong preference for cloth to be worn rather than the medal. This preference is because cloth is important to the sign value of the scapular as a garment, a habit. 8. Not only salvation but shortened purgatory. Whoever has a special devotion to Mary through the scapular can reach heaven quicker than normal after death. This is known as a Sabbatine privilege. It's a pious belief, approved by the Church, that the Blessed Virgin would be specially propitious to those who have worn the brown scapular of Our Lady of Mount Carmel and observed certain other practices. Pope Paul V in 1613 authorized the following decree to be published. It is permitted to the Carmelite Fathers to preach that the Christian people may believe that the Blessed Virgin will help by her continued assistance and her merits, particularly on Saturdays, the souls of the members of the Scapular Confraternity who have died in the grace of God, if in life they had worn the scapular, observed the chastity according to their state of life, and recited the office of the Blessed Virgin, or observed the fasts of the Church, practicing abstinence on Wednesdays and Saturdays. 9. How to maximize the great graces of the scapular. In a letter to the Carmelites, Pope John Paul II wrote that the most genuine form of devotion to the Most Holy Virgin, expressed by the humble sign of the scapular, is the consecration to her Immaculate Heart. At Fatima, Mary called for the consecration to her Immaculate Heart. 10. The privilege of the consecration to the Immaculate Heart by using the scapular. We've talked about the graces of salvation and shortening your time in purgatory to those who wear the scapular, but this one privilege is much more than that. Sister Lucia Fatima said, "Those who are devoted to the Immaculate Heart of Mary are those who will obtain the highest places in heaven." Why? Because being the closest to Mary on earth is being the closest to her in heaven. Mary's place in heaven is the one closest to Christ. Be sure to get a scapular and have it imposed on the neck by the priest himself, with a formula approved by the Church as soon as you can, so as to obtain more and more graces for your spiritual and temporal needs. You can find the formula of enrollment in my YouTube video's description. Also, share this to others so that we can help spread the devotion to Our Lady through the scapular and the rosary. Subscribe to my channel if you want more Catholic content. Praise be Jesus Christ.